You're watching Business Access TV.
Business Access.
Business Access.
Business Access.
Business Access.
You are watching Business Access TV.
Business Access TV.
Serious about business.
Serious about business.
It's the 5th annual staging of the Jamaica Alternative Energy Expo, and Business Access TV is here to capture the moments and share with you some energy-efficient products and services. I'm Andrew Lately. Stay with us.
Welcome everybody to Jamaica Alternative Energy Expo. It's a pleasure having you. Today is, I think this is the 5th staging of the Jamaica Alternative Energy Expo. And I must thank Petroleum Corporation for being a part of us almost for every year, and the Ministry of Energy. As without both of you, we could not make this happen. I know that energy is on the mind of many, and we have a lot of issues in the sector, and that's the reason why this expo was formed. And I think it has made a difference over the years, as we've learned a lot about what the policies are. We've been able to meet with the policymakers one-to-one, which we have not been able to do on a regular basis. And this has also enabled us to talk to them, show us the problems that we're having, as I'm also a person that owns an energy company as well. And I must say that a lot of changes have been made over the years, and we have to thank the ministry for that. Jamaica Public Service Company has been making some changes as well, and that's also a plus.
Clean and sustainable technology is a key priority for Canada and the Government of Canada. Did you know that 51% of Canadian clean technology firms' revenues are derived from their export activities? In fact, in 2015, $6.7 billion was derived from these export activities of our clean technology companies around the world. The global market for clean technology doubled between 2005 and 2014, and it's expected to triple to $3 trillion in 2020. Our participation today is part of the Canadian High Commission's longer-term strategy for the renewable energy sector. We are preparing our Canadian companies for the opportunities that are going to arise in Jamaica and the wider Caribbean region, for the upcoming business opportunities through the deployment of alternative and renewable energies, so that they are best equipped to compete for these opportunities and work closely with local partners here in Jamaica and the wider region. You'll see our Canadian companies just around the corner, as well as our virtual reality experience, showcasing the many facets of Canada on the innovation, environment, and multicultural front, as we proudly celebrate our 150 years of Confederation this year. So it's an important birthday for us this year. My participation today also allows me with the opportunity to share with you what we're doing on the political affairs and the development front as it relates to energy and climate change. As part of our climate finance commitments under the Paris Agreement, Canada has pledged $2.6 billion over 5 years to help developing countries transition to low-carbon, climate-resilient economies. We've begun delivering on this commitment, including in such areas as clean energy and energy efficiency, in collaboration with a range of bilateral and multilateral partners, for example, the Green Climate Fund and the Global Environment Facility. Recognizing the key role of the private sector in achieving both climate and sustainable development goals, Canada will invest approximately $1.8 billion of its overall commitment to significantly leverage private sector investment. Through these contributions, we are aiming our ability to maximize additional public and private funding for climate investment. Overall, this will increase the amount of funding that is mobilized globally for climate change programming in developing countries.
We have been sponsoring this event for the last 5 years, and we're very pleased to be back this year and hopefully next year as well. So just to give you a little bit of background on the PCJ, for those of you who don't know it. So we are responsible for implementing the government's energy program. So we pretty much look at energy projects that we can implement or assist companies across Jamaica to implement. And that is why we're so pleased to be a part of this activity today. The PCJ itself, we're involved in solar, so we're involved in wind, we're involved in hydro, we have an oil refinery, we're involved in biofuels. And in fact, one of the projects I want to briefly mention is a biofuels project we're doing with UTEC to introduce biodiesel into our transportation mix this year. So what we're doing is taking castor beans, crush it to produce biodiesel, introduce that with your regular diesel, and we have actually started that program now. And up to a couple of weeks ago, my car was actually running on biodiesel, a B5 blend. And what we're doing with UTEC is to take that project and ask them to use their resources and validate some of the studies we have done, take it to another level, and hopefully we'll be in a position to commercialize that aspect. And we can look at satellite farmers, we can look at large farmers, people can get involved in producing castor beans. We can set up a processing plant, and we'll be able to replace some of the diesel fuel we're currently importing into Jamaica. And again, that will help to reduce our energy mix. Most of you should know that we have 10% ethanol in our gasoline in Jamaica, again, to save on our carbon footprint, and that was done through the PCJ and Petrojam. And of course, we have Wigton with just under 63 megawatts of wind power. And another big project we're looking at this year is hydro. So we have somewhere in the region of 40-something megawatts of hydro power. We have done some studies. I know the PS will speak about those. But we have done the studies, the feasibility studies. We have the data. And we're now in a position where we're looking for partnership with or without. With or without meaning Jamaica. So within or without Jamaica. Who can work with us to implement some of these hydro projects.
We have today entities that are involved in practically all aspects of the energy industry in a single forum. Showcase our entrepreneurs, which is important, new approaches, new energy management, new and innovative systems and technologies, alternative solutions that have the capability of making our national energy policy objectives and energy security in particular, and energy and conservation, making those things real. It really signifies the growth and even the maturing of a nascent industry, and industries which a few years ago didn't even exist. And in line with our national energy policy of 2009, we're on our way to realizing some of the outcomes that we envisioned then. In that policy framework, we hope to see, and we now see, the rise of a vibrant renewable energy industry using Jamaica's natural resources to reduce our dependence on imported fuel. We see retailers and service providers offering our consumers innovative and affordable solutions which give them the power to take control of how they both use energy efficiently and conservatively. And we now see the growth in demand for professional services, engineers, technicians, tradesmen, several other professionals are seeing a consistent demand for those services. And that's not a small thing.
Talk to me about what the Alternative Energy Expo is really about.
Bringing people together, children, families, to learn about energy, how to save energy, what to buy, who to buy from, the right products to buy, and to teach Jamaicans how to conserve energy.
So the Expo is in its 5th year. Talk to me about what has contributed to the longevity of the Expo so far.
I think it's the players in the market, the sponsors, Petroleum Corporation, the Ministry of Energy, our endorsements we have had from JET, and that's what really makes the the Energy Expo continue because we have very good partners and very good sponsors.
The expo is free to the public. How do you benefit from an expo like this?
I think Jamaica benefits more than I benefit. It's free to the public. The sponsors help us to pay some costs. Our exhibitors help us with some costs as well. And we have conferences all day, 2 days. It's a 2-day expo, and that's free as well. So I think it's generated from the sponsors and exhibitors that help to pay the cost. And a lot of the sponsors help us, like Jamaica Pegasus Hotel will give us a break with the rental. So it's a good thing, and the ministry does a lot of promo and advertising for us.
I've been walking the grounds here so far this morning, and I've been seeing a number of booths. Can you tell me how many booths are here today?
We have over 30 exhibitors, the serious ones that have made an impact in the market. So, we have a mixture of Weekdown, Petroleum Corporation, ATL, Green Energy. So quite a bit of people are here today, Sophos. So it's a good place to be today. Again, it's free to the public, and we even have exhibits from schools. So you can come and look at what the kids have done in school, because energy starts at home.
We take a break and come back with more on how you can be energy efficient. Welcome back, and thanks for staying with us. Now here's more from the 5th annual staging of the Jamaica Alternative Energy Expo. I know that this particular ministry has a 30 in 30 plan. How important is alternative energy in that plan?
Well, the 30 in 30 is actually speaking about getting 30% of renewables into our energy sector by 2030. And so it's an integral part of our plan. It's one of the things that's reflected in our energy policy, and then it was at 20%. Now we've put a stretch target of 30%, and it's something that we feel is entirely achievable with proper planning.
Where does the ministry stand now in 2070 in terms of energy security?
Well, as I was saying earlier, what we've had is significant development of our renewable energy sector. You have Content, Solar, WRB, BMR, and Wigton themselves participating in it. PCJ had indicated that we have probably around 40 megawatts of hydropower that's possible. And we have seen the transformation in the fuel diversification from HFO to natural gas with the 120 Bogue conversion, and now the 190 megawatts. So all of these things come together to provide far greater energy security for the country in terms of our import substitution. But equally, we have the net billing program where people can actually put on their solar panels and export to the grid. We are working on power wheeling so that larger companies can produce for themselves and wheel to their own subsidiaries or other locations. The other part of it is that energy efficiency and conservation. We're working with the Bureau of Standards to put in a lab so that everybody who buys an AC or a blender or a TV or whatever, that we are buying and importing into this country things that are efficient. Yeah? Sometimes you might go and buy an AC or a toaster that looks cheaper, is cheaper, but at the end of the day, you're actually costing yourselves more. So one of the things we have is a public education program as well, to make sure that the country saves every dollar that we used to use on energy importation to build other areas that are important to this economy, our health system, our education system, things like that.
Talk to me about why you decided to come on board as a sponsor.
Well, Business Access TV is serious about business, all forms of business, and the business of energy is one of the biggest and most lucrative businesses there is. So this is one of the reasons why we decided to come on board.
So I see the partnership is thriving, and I am seeing 2 booths here. What are you offering here at the Expo today?
Well, today we're offering the exhibitors and other business owners the opportunity to sign up to purchase up an advertising package, or even to engage our sales consultants in a conversation about what it is that Business Access TV can do for them.
Connect Services decided to come on board this year with the Alternative Energy Expo because we really and truly want to raise awareness among Jamaicans as it relates to savings, energy costs. Based on the economic situation in Jamaica right now, we know that it's a bit more restricted, so we want to ensure that Jamaicans have an opportunity to be aware of what's going on right now and what are the options available to them.
So this is a 2-day expo. At the end of day 2, what would you hope to gain or take away from the expo?
Well, after these 2 days, we're hoping that most Jamaicans would have capitalized on the opportunity to come in for free. It's a free expo to come in here, see the options available, see the different exhibitors, see what's available to them, and see how they can take something from here to really reduce their cost on energy, cost on solutions, and just have a better quality of life going forward.
One of the first things that you should consider doing before putting your money down on a system, a solar PV system, is to get an energy audit done. So why do we need an energy audit? What it does is to establish what is exactly consuming the energy. How much of that energy is being consumed during the day, a typical day, and what is the consumption over a 1-week period. How many times in a week is that particular device or devices actually consuming energy. And the reason for that is that if you want to put in a solar PV system, the system is generating electricity to be used by those same devices or components in your facility. So to have an idea of how that energy is going to be consumed, you need to do an audit of what you have on site. And that audit will help to highlight what's help you to determine what size system you need and how it will benefit you the best. So that's a critical thing to do. Now, of course, an audit would vary in terms of its scope and size based on the facility. A home, of course, would be a much smaller requirement compared to probably a school or a large commercial complex or office building. But it's the same principle. Find out what is using energy, where you're at, and how it is being used, especially the time of day and the quantity.
We've done our research, we've calculated the risks and the costs, we've got our funding from the Development Bank of Jamaica, and now we're ready to start our business. But you ask yourself the question, how can I take this business further than where it is, or further than where I can see it? What do I do? Focus on the main area, one specific area of your business that contributes to its success, and that's sales and advertising. Almost every time a business is not performing, it's primarily because they're not spending enough time on the sales process. If you're running a new business, you should devote about 80% of your time to sales. If you're running an established business, you should spend at least 30% of your time on the sales process or connecting with your customers. Does this sound a little too much? Spending 80% of your time as a new business owner on the sales aspect? If it does, it shouldn't. What else could you be doing in your business that is more important than generating sales? When you spend most of your time on the selling opportunities, the selling options, or the selling points of your business, opportunities arise. Doors open, checks get written, you get paid, your workers get paid, your business grows, good things happen. Only going out and asking more people to buy your things will make a real difference in the long run. All else is tinkering in the peripherals of success.
Why did you decide to come on board as a sponsor today?
Our involvement here at the Expo this year is actually part of a longer-term strategy for supporting Canadian companies who are offering renewable energy technologies and solutions. So we're hoping that our participation today is going to lead to better preparing our Canadian companies for some of the upcoming opportunities here in Jamaica in the renewable energy space.
What do you hope to take away from the Expo?
From a personal stance, I'm actually learning quite a bit of some of the key players here in Jamaica's energy landscape in terms of all the amazing opportunities that are taking place, some of the training and innovation that's in place. But I'm also hoping that our Canadian companies are going to come away with new business partners, and hopefully new commercial opportunities will have been identified.
Talk to me a little bit about the alternative energy landscape in Canada.
Sure. Well, we are very blessed with vast natural resources in Canada. So certainly the renewable energy sector takes into account wind, solar, hydro as part of Canada's energy mix, as well as natural gas, diesel, oil, and coal. So it's quite a diverse energy sector. It actually employs 71,000 people in Canada, and about 51% of our clean technologies companies' activities are derived from export activities.
What do you think about the direction Jamaica is taking in terms of renewable and alternative energy?
I'd like to commend Jamaica for the results that they've achieved to date. They have a very ambitious but achievable target of 30% in 2030. I know that there is vision in place and there is developments on the table in terms of integrating all of the resource planning and management here in the country. And Canada is quite excited to be partnering with Jamaica in this journey.
So why did the SRC decide to become a sponsor at the Expo here today?
Okay, the SRC has been a media sponsor to this event for the past 6-7 years, so it would be automatic that we would be on board today. But the JAE has provided a number of opportunities, business opportunities for us, because as you can see, we are displaying one of our premier products, the wastewater management system, and a number of Jamaicans, are interested in this product at this time especially. People are looking for different ways as it relates to renewable energy and stuff like that. So the wastewater management system is one of those things that we came up with, or one of those products that we came up with. And it's buzzing right now, and so this event provides that opportunity to showcase our product. Not that Jamaica don't know about SRC and the biodigester wastewater management system, but this gives us another opportunity to showcase our product.
I know it's just day one of the Expo so far, but what has the reaction so far at the booth been like?
Well, the reaction has been good. So far we have a number of persons coming in and inquiring, and we are taking their names and, whatever question they have. We have a system in place that, if they ask us a question and we can't answer immediately, we'll provide a feedback to them via email. So whatever questions they ask, we will answer here on spot, or we'll respond to them when we get back in office. But their responses has been good so far.
That's it from us here at the 5th annual staging of the Jamaica Alternative Energy Expo, and Business Access TV is glad we could bring you the top energy efficient products and services. I'm your host Andrew Ladley, and thanks for tuning in to Business Access TV, serious about business.